Many young men have entered these halls to meet the challenge. Like the gladiators of old Rome, they come, perfecting each stroke, chiseling out each muscle until their body has become a lethal fighting machine. And they've earned the title champ. Or not. What happens once they've reached the pinnacle? Once they've achieved the best that they can be? And what happens when the only thing they can win is the distinction of being boxing's most famous neverweight? It was at the Benwood Gym in West Virginia that we caught up with Tommy the Tomato Tornado, at over 60 years of age, preparing to, of all things, attempt to come back against the mighty Mike Tyson. He was in the middle of training with his longtime manager, Al Ducci. Tommy, many fighters these days are trying to make comebacks. For example, George Foreman. He, of course, became a heavyweight champ. And then there's you, the Prince of Potential. You even had Don King court you.
That's right.
But you ended up 0-45. Not one win. How is that a comeback?
Yeah. Did we win any fights? Did we win? He said we were 0-45. He's crazy. What's the matter with you?
Tommy, in fact, over the years, the press gave you the title Rembrandt because you are always on the canvas. And then there was the time Nick Sparchain advertised "Eat it undos" on the soles of your shoes.
That's what he said. I heard what he said.
Even though he wasn't a good boxer, Tommy actually was a good fighter. He learned his grit growing up in the mean streets of Benwood, West Virginia.
Punchers are not made, they are born. He was born a puncher.
But young Tommy started to go down the wrong road. That is, until he was discovered by his lifelong manager, Al Longlegs Ducci. Al made all the difference.
Rescued him from a life of crime in prison, gave him an opportunity, developed his boxing skills.
Al Longlegs, please stand up and tell us about the early days.
Stand up? Hell, he is standing up. What's the matter with you?
Over the years, the fights and losses piled up. It finally got to Tommy. After one especially bad bout in New York, Tommy developed a drinking hobby. Do you think that Tommy's drinking problem hurt him in the ring?
I've never had any problem. I never did. Never had no problem.
By the time his 45th fight in Mexico rolled around, Tommy's personal and professional lives were in disarray. In one corner, there was the drinking. On the opposing side was the losing record. And then there was Don King.
And that created the opening, the opportunity for Don King to move in on a very confused kid and manipulate him into becoming part of Don King's empire.
King wanted Tommy to be that guy who loses to his other fighters, but Tommy stood up to King and said no. He could lose on his own without any help or money from King.
The greatness of boxing is the unpredictability of it.
What did you make of the rumors that you turned down King because you were already making more money from, well, bribes?
Hear what he said?
Yeah, I heard what he said.
But to turn up the hearing aids, you can't hear nothing.
I got it on now.
What's the matter with you guys? Now you know why I drink.
That fight in Mexico, it was Tommy's last until now. You see, at age 65, Tommy decides he wants to make a comeback against, that's right, Mike Tyson.
So I'm just looking forward to winning. My main objective is just to win.
Well, fellas, how many laps did you do?
What?
One. You think that's enough?
Yeah, for him.
Tyson does 20 miles a day.
What do you mean for him? What do you mean?
Was that all right? That's fine.
Tommy, what's the best punch you ever threw?
My left hook. Best punch I ever threw.
How about the
right now?
Right.
He said my right.
You want this Tyson fight to be at the Garden. Have you ever fought there?
Yeah, I fought at the gardens. I fought down in Undo's gardens. We were fighting over tomato plants. I remember that real well.
For all his competitions, Tommy only made it to the 15th round one time. It was a 15-rounder of a bocce game at the Garibaldi Club. Is that true about the bocce game?
You listen to what the hell? You listen to what the hell he's saying?
That's true.
It's true?
That's true.
Did you ever take a dive?
I took a swim once.
Did you ever throw a fight for money?
I ever take a dive? Never. We ever do anything like that?
Ever.
He bet on me for losing.
For a person your age, your condition, really, is there anyone you think you could beat today? Of all the comeback athletes we've ever interviewed, you would have the farthest to go. Maybe it's because you never made it there in the first place. Oh! Ow! Tommy never did fight Tyson, but he did go on to become a world champion fighter for Project Best.